The webcam's green indicator flickered on as I entered the Zoom meeting. It was my third-round interview for a senior software engineer role at Google. A high-paying job in the six figures, the one that would finally let me move out of my parents' home and escape their overwhelming dominance. "Good morning, Zara." The interviewer's smile seemed kind and authentic. "I'm David Park, engineering manager on the cloud platform team. Prepared to get started?" "Definitely," I replied, willing my hands to steady. "Thank you so much for..." The door behind me flew open suddenly. My heart sank as my mother's voice echoed loudly, clear enough for the microphone to pick up everything. "Is this the Google representative? I must talk to them immediately." "Mom, please no," I turned quickly in my chair, but she was already forcing her way into the camera's view, with my father close behind. "You need to halt this interview right away," my mother declared to the screen. "She's far too unstable mentally to hold a job. She couldn't manage something like this." David's face changed from puzzlement to worry. "Excuse me, who are you?" "We're her parents, her caregivers," my father stressed, crowding into the frame. "We ensure she's properly medicated for the safety of everyone involved. She's not reliable enough for a position, particularly at a major corporation." "Leave now," I whispered fiercely, attempting to shove them back. "This is against the rules. You aren't allowed to." "She suffers from bipolar disorder," my mother interrupted, pronouncing each syllable like a final judgment. "The severe kind. She experiences auditory hallucinations. She's prone to aggression. Just last month, she attempted to set the house on fire." "That's completely false." My voice broke. "None of that's accurate. Look at how upset she becomes." My father pointed at me as if I were evidence in a trial. "This demonstrates precisely our concern. She can't cope with pressure." "What occurs if she loses control at your workplace? If she suffers a breakdown?" "We're attempting to shield you from potential legal action." I reached desperately for my laptop to disconnect, but my mother seized my wrist. Firmly. The identical hold she'd employed since I was 12, anytime I dared to stand up for myself. "She's not taking her pills currently," she went on to David, who remained motionless on the display. "She rejects them. Claims we're manipulating her. Typical paranoid thinking. I'm not taking any medication because there's nothing wrong with me mentally." The statement burst out of me. "Refusal is symptomatic of her illness," my father remarked wisely. "We've managed this for years. The hallucinations, the outbursts, the habitual dishonesty." "Did she mention graduating from Stanford?" "She never did." "Did she say she was employed at Microsoft?" "That's another fabrication. Her entire resume is made up." David cleared his throat politely. "Mr. and Mrs. Okafor, we're simply attempting to prevent your organization from a serious error. Picture her experiencing a meltdown in your building. Consider the risk." "I understand," David's tone stayed even, "and you believed it essential to disrupt this interview to disclose these details." "Somebody had to." My mother's hold on my wrist grew tighter. "She's been submitting applications secretly. We've contacted multiple companies already to alert them. It's our duty as her guardians." "Your duty," David echoed deliberately. "Let me ask, do you possess medical power of attorney over Zara?" My parents both hesitated. "Pardon?" "Legal papers declaring that Zara is incompetent mentally and that you hold decision-making rights for her." "Well, no," my father conceded. "But as her mom and dad?" "She seems to be a grown woman. Residing in your residence, yet legally an adult. Is that right?" "She's 27, my mother stated, as though it were disgraceful. Still at home since she can't manage on her own." "Because you refused to allow me to go," I eventually yanked my wrist free from her grasp. "You conceal my paperwork. You monitor my phone. You ruin every..." "Observe," my mother faced the camera again. "The paranoia. We don't conceal anything. She misplaces items due to her disorder. Mrs. Okafor, David's words sliced through her act. I must advise you that this session is recorded. It's standard Google procedure for all later stage interviews. All that you've stated is documented. My mother's face lost its color. Moreover, he added, disrupting a person's job prospects via untrue assertions may qualify as defamation, particularly if the individual possesses verifiable evidence refuting your statements. We're telling the truth, my father protested. She's unwell. Inform him about the treatment, Zara. Mention Dr. Hoffman. Dr. Hoffman stopped being my physician 15 years ago, I responded softly. After he surrendered his license for excessively prescribing to adolescents. Recall? You continued bringing me to him regardless. Paid in cash to avoid any record with insurance. You required those drugs. I was 12. I was mourning because my grandmother passed away. That's not bipolar. That's normal sorrow. Mr. Park, my mother shifted back to the screen, urgency entering her tone. You can't comprehend our daily struggles. The phone calls. The issues. Just recently. What phone calls? I cut in. What issues? Specify one. Your supervisor at the library mentioned that I earned Employee of the Month. 4 occasions. I displayed the awards on my phone, angling them toward the lens. That I overhauled their whole digital archive. That I mentored 3 newcomers. Exactly what complaint did she make? Quiet. David leaned in a bit. Zara, are your Stanford records accessible? Of course. I'd prepared everything, anticipating the need for verification. I shared my screen with the authenticated transcript. Dean's list each term. And this is my confirmation from Microsoft. 2 years there as a junior dev, then moved to a startup acquired by Amazon. Documentation for that as well. Those might be doctored, my father muttered faintly. They're connected straight from the verified sites, David observed. The links are visible. Ms. Okafor, what prescriptions are you on at present? None, I answered decisively. Just vitamin D and sometimes melatonin to help sleep. Nothing else. I can supply a current health report if required. She's fabricating, my mother persisted. Search her bedroom. Medications scattered. The only tablets in my room are pain relievers and supplements. Feel free to confirm. Actually, I rose, holding the laptop. Let's look immediately. I moved to my drawer, keeping everything in view, and revealed my organizer. 7 slots, neatly marked. Supplements. Calcium. Iron. This changes nothing, my father declared. She conceals the actual drugs. Where? You inspect my space every week. You rummage through my waste. You read my private notes. Exactly where am I stashing these supposed pills? David's look had transformed from worry to something different. Comprehension, perhaps, or insight. Ms. Okafor, he asked cautiously. Have you faced any criminal charges? No. Any psychiatric admissions? No. Except yes, at age 12. For 14 days, after my parents informed staff I was at risk of self-harm. I wasn't. I was writing about sadness in a notebook, and they labeled it suicidal thoughts. Have you ever endangered a coworker? Never. Any job-related problems? Disputes with team members? No. References available from all roles. She's skilled at masking it. My mother interjected. That's characteristic of the disorder. She appears fine, but... Mrs. Okafor, David's tone sharpened. I've conducted countless interviews. I've also supported people with real mental health challenges. What's evident here isn't a person in crisis. What's evident is parents deliberately undermining their daughter's professional path. How can you say that? I can because it's obvious, and it's captured on video. And it's captured on video. Every statement. Every allegation. Every falsehood. We're truthful, my father yelled. She requires treatment. We're safeguarding her. From a lucrative position, David inquired calmly. From self-sufficiency? From an existence beyond your influence? You don't understand her as we do, my mother's voice lowered threateningly. You don't grasp her potential dangers. What dangers, Mom? I faced her squarely. Explain. Describe one awful act I've committed. She stared furiously. The incident with fire. You refer to lighting a candle for Diwali in my space? Which you portrayed as attempted arson. The aggression. When I secured my door to prevent you from invading my privacy, and you summoned authorities claiming I was barricaded and threatening. The dishonesty. About what? Cite a single falsehood. One actual lie. She parted her lips, then shut them. My father advanced. We're your family. We know your needs. No, I stated calmly. You know your own needs. Retaining me here. Keeping me diminished. Keeping me reliant. Because without me, who handles your chores? Who prepares your food? Who serves as your future security? That's the disorder speaking, my mother claimed, though her tone faltered. Is it? Or the reality you refuse to face? David cleared his throat again. I've witnessed sufficient. Ms. Okafor, are you currently safe? Would you like support contacts? The response caught, was I safe? I'd endured this so long, the concept felt foreign. We'd never physically harm her, my father retorted angrily. Physical isn't the sole form of damage, David countered. Ms. Okafor, Google collaborates with groups aiding those in coercive family dynamics. I can forward details post-call. You're intruding, my mother snarled. This is private family matter. You involved me when you invaded this meeting. He addressed me again. Zara, I'll conclude the official portion now. But know this, your coding rounds were outstanding. Your architecture solutions were creative. Your stories highlighted leadership, compassion, and strength. Particularly strength. Tears stung my eyes. Thank you. We'll contact you in 48 hours regarding progress. And Zara? The opportunity remains available. The connection ended. Quiet flooded my space like a tide. Then my mother chuckled, harsh and resentful. Fine, enjoy that delusion. No chance they'll offer you the role now. Not after witnessing our chaotic household. Chaotic, I echoed. Our household is chaotic. Not me. The family. Don't misrepresent me. I'm not misrepresenting. You just informed a Google recruiter that I'm dangerously unstable. Without evidence. Without records. Without proof. Merely your assertions versus mine. And it's fully documented. So what? My father dismissed. You believe they'll proceed after this mess? Possibly. Possibly not. But now there's documentation. Official documentation. Of your actions. Of your deceptions. Of how you've derailed every chance I've pursued. We're safeguarding you. From what? I shouted, 15 years of bottled rage exploding. From achievement? From autonomy? From an existence not centered on you? From your own flaws? My mother replied icily. You're worthless without us. You realize that. Who else would put up with you? Who else would support you? We'll see, I suppose. I began gathering items. Not many. They'd notice excess. Only necessities. Papers I'd stashed in a feminine product container, they'd never searched there. The spare funds from secret online coaching they were unaware of. My computer. Where do you imagine you're headed? My father stood in the doorway. Away. With what funds? What vehicle? What strategy? I'll manage. You'll return by evening, my mother predicted smugly. You always do. Like when you attempted college? That internship? The apartment? You retreated each time. Because you interfered each time. Contacted landlords. Warned potential roommates I was risky. Restricted my finances. But now differs. How? Because now I possess evidence. Now a major corporation holds video of you confessing to employment interference. Now, if you attempt interference again, I'll share that video with relatives. With acquaintances. With your congregation. I'll upload it publicly. Ensure all know your true nature. My father moved aside. As I went by, he clutched my arm. Not tightly. Merely to remind me of his strength. You'll be sorry, he murmured. When isolated. When you stumble. When you accept we were correct. Perhaps, I replied. But it'll be my stumble. My decision. My existence. I departed with a single bag and 15 years of buried aspirations. My friend Amira collected me 2 blocks down. I'd messaged her from the restroom amid the interview chaos. She'd waited patiently. Your folks are deranged, she remarked as I slumped into her vehicle. Totally deranged. I agree. Next steps? Uncertain. Secure a budget motel. Submit more applications. Pray Google doesn't drop me. Just endure. Motel? She snorted. You're crashing with me. No debate. Amira. No debate. My sofa is yours till that Google letter arrives. You believe they'll extend it? After everything? She smiled widely. Seriously? You demonstrated poise under extreme duress. You refuted your manipulators' live. Remained composed while they sought to ruin you on record. If that's not fitting for Google, nothing is. My device vibrated. Message from David Park. Dear Zara, reaching out promptly after our disrupted session. Firstly, rest assured your parents' intrusion won't affect our evaluation. If anything, your calm amid adversity strengthens our view of your strengths. I'm advancing your file to priority review. Also attaching contacts for support in controlling family environments. Google prioritizes well-being, including for candidates. Contact in 24 hours rather than 48. Off record, your parents' assertions were evidently baseless. Anyone familiar with actual mental health issues would spot the contrast between real challenges and manipulation. Regret you faced this. Regards, David. I reviewed it thrice before believing. So? Amira pressed. They're prioritizing me. She cheered loudly, startling me. Told you. Google recognizes excellence and toxic interference clearly. My phone rang. Mother. Declined and blocked. Then father. Blocked. Home phone. Blocked. For the first time in 15 years, no answering their demands. No justifications. No regrets for being. 22 hours on, the offer arrived. Senior software engineer. 180K salary, equity, bonus. Sufficient for solo living. For counseling. For the future they attempted to deny me. I accepted instantly. First shared with David Park, who replied with a thumbs up emoji and welcome aboard. Excited to collaborate with someone unbreakable. Second, Amira, who yelled, wept, and began scouting rentals near campus. I skipped informing my parents. They'd learn eventually, maybe via taxes when I filed solo. Or calling Google again, discovering I was succeeding. But future me's issue. Current me is occupied thriving in my supposedly unattainable world. Turns out I'm fully able to work, excel, and live free of their grip. Surprising? To everyone but them, evidently. Their defeat, my liberation. My true start at 27. Better delayed than denied.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you never miss a twist. Stay tuned to Reddit Tales Times for your daily dose of drama, laughs, and unbelievable stories.